breaking news from Jubilee House. Sisi Aisha, each party any flag bearer. You say Ghana has a practice a democracy. And then we have many parties as well. So all per se, and I say all per se will be president or my Ghana. And maybe anyway, soon quite. But Sisi, my Ghana won't say oh many party, you practice a multi-party system. But it seems say Ghana Sisiano, met me as I acquire bilateral. Two NDC and then MPP party in power and then opposition party. When I'm so ama omumienu and asisia o Ghana you focus on so pa. Na ye show mu nyina enya omo flag bearer NDC party opposition party omo flag bearer for omo party no former president John Dramani Mahama and then MPP party in power sisia no omo flag bearer vice president Dr. Mahmoud Alhaji Bawumia. Okay. Na sisi the Ghana nyina ye twe say obi biara e dey running mate e be ba bontin ama yehu say we anyway and I say asumasi and I say asumasi we and stand as running mate for each party. But sisi ani enim when I'm so breaking news be if Jubilee House about sisi Mr. President and then Vice President I saw Oma committee abom sisi ano Oma running mate for the MPP party as sisi ano about beto abontin. Na me person me so brand wa daji bebre no dey come ho Nyekoti ensema ekoso nyehu nipa obeye running mate for yakasi vice president Dr. Mahmoud Alhaji Bawumia. Before that, make sure to subscribe, you'll be like, you'll be commenting. Where your comment section, we so I'll click on the notification button for more news updates. Nyekoti Masisia, medas.
Yeah, I wasn't Katamazo and Tema East.
You were monitoring.
I was coordinating Katamazo. But I have to come to my constituency.
So what do you make of the elections and of course the aftermath of the elections? Interestingly, the issue of running mate has also started. Already yesterday there were publications in newspapers about a minister. They failed to mention the minister's name, but they say the minister is from Ashanti. That the minister is telling lies abroad and all that. So the positioning and slinging and mudslinging has already started. But I mean, the election and the outcome of the elections. There are people who look at the 61. There are people who look at about the 40% who did not prefer Alhaji Bawumia, and people have looked at the analysis differently. The issue of polling, research, 80%, 70%, 75%, and all those things have come up. Interestingly, Global Info Analytics has come up strongly once again as an extremely credible polling and research company because they got us in North virtually right. This one too, they've virtually been spot on. And I remember when they did their final one, the campaign coordinator for Dr. Bawumia, Samuel Oku, actually said that any poll that puts the vice president below 70% is not something that they would even consider. But well, the chickens have come home to roost.
I think. Thank you very much, Andy. The best survey is the outcome of the elections. Let me take this opportunity to thank all our delegates who managed to cast ballots, all the 276 constituencies, National Council members, National Executive Committee members, members of the steering committee, the overseas branches, members of parliament, and what have you. Let me also congratulate the contestants who contested the elections, right from the super delegates to the final one on the 4th. And at the end of the day, we all saw how serene the whole 276 constituencies, and including the headquarters, how the elections was conducted. It was free, it was fair, no underhand dealings, and everything went on so professional. And at the end of the day, Dr. Bawumia won. Some of us who had the opportunity to work for him were very confident that he's going to win with a bigger margin. But hey, elections are sometimes different, and for that matter, he had 61.47%.
You are the four Mugusu Amoti, former my West MP, yes, I no, and I want to miss at least be I then APA upon tea by an list in APA by any. You who are shanty MPs be bring Mudin, I was a listener, so we must say a energy minister and my Matako Pempen, Dean was education minister, and so Dean was also about MPB, I say. Or no, just say minister be as on the same company go be our bridge and say, Mammy, wait, yes, and Dean as our can't listen. Why not some and I go to Elkin? Mammy, a frame of say your parole, so then I saw about to say, and now she was very, very active and letting almost say the way she is active in everything that's going on in the Dean and the air copy up, so on number air animate and farmer, air that someone by Mona Sell, I said, David, will be a mob on your pressure, no time in this one. Or best let you be or banning day or banning running mates, and sounds to end so and so neighbor.
Then comes the issue of running mates. By the rules of our engagement, the selection of the running mate is the sole prerogative of the presidential candidate. I don't want anybody to give him pressure. He just came out of the elections. Whoever he wants to be his running mate, I'm sure by now he knows. But even that, he need to do some further consultations with some key personalities in the party to make sure that whoever he comes up with is going to be acceptable. So the names that have come up, fine, they are good names. But at the end of the day, we are going to choose one, just like the normal presidential elections. So they should just bid their time. And it's not a matter of somebody going to get people to be talking for him or campaigning for him. That is going to work.
Yesterday I saw one, the chief of staff. This is a song, actually a song that has been composed.
There are people who do all kinds of funny things, Kwesi. You know, there are people who are doing all kinds of funny things. You know, of course they have their choices that they can make. I like Kwesi, I like Andete. So that is what I want. At the end of the day, the man to take that decision is a presidential candidate. So let's give him that space to think through and see the person he thinks, and in choosing the running mate, somebody that you can work comfortable with. You don't just go and pick anybody. At the end of the day, there's going to have issues and problems that will weigh you down. You understand? So you need to get somebody who can complement your ticket that you want to go to the elections with. So clearly it is in the domain of the presidential candidate to come out with his running mates that will be acceptable to all of us. And I believe that by now his consultation has started. Key people that he need to consult, get their input, and of course there are going to be certain criteria that you need to look at. You don't just get up and get a running mate. There are certain key criteria that you need to follow, checklist, that look, we need this, you need this, you need that. And based on that, you'll be able to complement a ticket that we're going to run. So let me take the opportunity to thank the National Executive. Let me thank the Professor Michael Quay Presidential Election Committee for also doing a very good job to make sure that we manage to come to the end of this election. So the focus now is on 2024 general elections. And by now, they will putting the teams together, all the campaign teams together. Those we need to bring on board and include everybody to make sure that we'll be able to prosecute these elections in 2024. So in brief, that's what I can say about our elections. But when you look at the historical antecedents of all our presidential elections from 92, you recall that Professor Dubai had about 56%. President J. Kufuor's attempt in 96, 98, I think, had 51%. Nanado himself in Legon 2007 had about 47.9%. Then His Excellency the Vice President for the first time had 61%. So when you look at the records, you can confidently say that he has really done so well. And the fact that he was able to touch on a lot of people to come on board to assist him.
Unless, of course, for people who are interested in data, you could be your basis for comparison could be wrong. I mean, beyond the fact that the
Electoral College.
Yes, because those ones prior to 2010, they will be like what you now call your super delegates. But if you want to really look at this election, then you have to look at it from 2010. So this is the third. That is when you've had over 200,000.
But no, it doesn't matter. It's just like you are doing a research.
Yes.
You don't do the normal or the entire electoral college to do your research. You take sample size.
Yeah, but the sample is important. I'm just saying I'm just saying that comparing, you could compare the sample size of the electoral college because in terms of the constitution of the electoral college and the numbers, that could be similar to those previous elections.
You are right.
Yes,
you are right.
But for this one, there have been 2 previous ones. So at least there are 3 like elections. So it would be better to rather do that.
So clearly you could see that he has really touched base, and there are a lot of issues that he managed to bring along that will enable people to accept his brand as the one we think that we can go to the elections in 2024. So I believe strongly that there's a lot of things that we can do together. The elections have come, they've gone. They've all pledged their support, because after every election, what you need is a total unity of all aspirants to come on board to make sure that we market the winner. And for the surprise that we all had was that of Honorable Kennedy Japan, because when Alan Chamantin left, because from the one he was being placed at the 3rd spot until the super delegate that we realized that he has overtaken that of Alan Chamantin. So clearly we never believed that he could make that mark close to